How's it going, everybody? This is Nick here from Live with Christ, and for today's video, I'm sorry, introduce yourself.
I'm his wife, Haley. Okay, go ahead.
And for today's workout, I'm going to be showing you all my arm buster, bicep and tricep exercise.
I didn't quite catch the arm buster part.
I'm trying.
I was getting this thing. Okay.
All right, take two. All right, guys, today I'll be showing you my arm buster, bicep, tricep exercise. So I'll be showing you guys how I personally like to train arms. We're currently on our way to the gym, and I'm so grateful that I have a camera person. That's one of the hard things about filming, is that you need someone to film you. And luckily enough, my wife was, I was about to say Rocky's mom.
Mother?
No, Rocky's mom, I get confused.
I am 2 years your senior, so just say that.
But she's gonna be videotaping me, and I'm grateful because her and I have a son. For those of you who don't know, his name is Rocky. He's a wildebeest of a baby,
6 months old,
and we are fortunate enough to find a babysitter for him so she could film me today, and I could show you guys how to train arms. So I will get back to you when I get in the gym, and we're gonna be getting after it.
good.
All right, so for my first set, I always like to start off heavy. I do single arm isolation dumbbell curls to start off. So I start off with my backs. And with this exercise, I try to make sure that my pinkies are coming in. That way I get full range of motion in my bicep. So the biggest point of emphasis when you're doing these exercises is make sure you're pointing inwards with your pinkies. Up the weight for this one, so we're doing 60s. It's getting serious now. And so for this one, switching up, I'm going to do hammer instead of supinated curls. Alright, so one thing that I always find funny whenever I do dumbbell exercises, whenever I see the dumbbells out of order, because it's like you learn numbers and shapes when you're in preschool, and we still get it wrong as adults. So it's something I always find humorous whenever I'm doing a dumbbell exercise. This one I dropped the weight a little bit, went down to 45. Whenever I do this, I always try to start off in a hammer position and then rotate as I go up, because I tend to find I get more range of motion in my bicep whenever I do it this way. It's technically not a right or wrong way to do it, but to each is their own. This one, I'm lowering it down. Watch out for this guy. This one I'm going down to 30. Personally, I always like to do my power sets first at the heavier weight, and then focus more on the pump and getting good repetitions in. 20s, which is relatively light. And this is where I test the mental part of it, because this one I'm going to crank out a lot of reps. I'm going to do these supinated, and once I tap out supinated, I'm going to do this in the hammer curls. So for this one, I'm gonna do some preacher curls, and then I'm gonna alternate between front curls as well. And now for this one, a lot of people, I noticed, tend to keep their shoulders back when they do these. For me, I like to do them differently. Instead of keeping my shoulders back like this, I always let mine dangle a little bit, let my arms be loose, and I always feel more concentrated in my biceps. So again, to each is their own. You know, I just always feel a better muscle-mind connection when I do it this way. So lean forward a little bit, hunch those arms down, and then focus on just cranking with those biceps. Next one, like I said, last time I did preacher curls supinated. These I'm gonna do a front grip. And again, instead of keeping my shoulders tight, I just keep them forward so I'm feeling loosey-goosey. Here's a pro tip. Most people, when they take their pre-workout, they do it all one shot before they get here. The thing is, when you first get to the gym, that's when you have your most energy. So I tend to sip on mine throughout my workout. That way I always feel like I'm getting some steady energy. I'm able to work out longer. So, like I said, to each is their own, but for me, if you notice my water bottle is gonna be a little misty looking throughout the workout, that's because I'm slowly sipping on my pre-workout so I can get that energy kick later in the workout when you get tired. When we lowered the weight a little bit, trying to keep it in that 8 to 12 range. I tend to find that if I don't reach the rep number that I want, I'll add weight if I get too little. And if I get higher, I'll tend to make the weight a little bit heavier. So I'm always trying to aim, for the most part, between 8 to 12 reps for each of my exercises. So I did 2 bicep exercises. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna dive into a tricep exercise. The reason I do this is because, for one, my biceps are pretty tanked right now. And the cool thing about doing biceps and triceps the same day is that they're both opposite movements. Whenever you're pushing away from your body, it works your tricep. And whenever you're pulling something towards your body, it works your bicep. So this allows my biceps to take a break while I'm working out my triceps, then you get that full arm pump. So right now we're gonna do probably 2 tricep exercises before we go back into biceps. And this is just a tricep machine push downs. This is my favorite tricep machine at my gym. And for this one, this is just a warm-up set to get my triceps ready when I go into heavier weight. this, I try to get the seat as warm as possible, for which I feel is right with my body. Because whenever I do that, I feel like I get more range of motion in my triceps. Keeping it misty, still sipping on that pre-workout, so I have energy to keep going. This one I do 3 plates, so this is generally like the heaviest I'll go for this exercise. So Haley, you're coming around to this side real quick. For this one, you see, whenever you do like a hammer grip, it hits certain parts of your tricep. But when you change up on your grips, that's when you're hitting more muscle fibers, the particular muscle. So now that I lowered the weight a little bit, I'm going to be doing a front grip for this exercise. And this hits different parts of your tricep. Yeah, biggest thing, if you notice with my bicep exercise, is I hit supinated, hammer, pronated grips. And throughout my tricep exercise, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm going for hammer grips, pronated, and supinated. I always remember pronated and supinated because supinated grip, it's like you're holding a can of soup. So that's when your hands are underneath something. So it's a fun little tidbit for you. All right, so my wife just came up with something really cool to remember pronated grip, because pronated grip, you're like a pro basketball player dribbling a basketball. So pronated and then supinated is like you're holding a can of soup, and then hammer is obviously when you're like this, and you're slugging away like you have a hammer. So now nobody can ever, now nobody can never forget those. Sorry, I'm out of breath. My pre-workout, I'm trying to do a set.
Nobody can ever.
I gathered myself before I started talking, so that way I won't stutter over my words. But for this one, it's the last exercise for the set. We're gonna do a drop set. So we're gonna start off with 2 plates, crank it out till failure, then do 1 plate, hammer it home, and then we're gonna go off to our next tricep exercise. I promise I'll put those away after this set. So last time we did a tricep push down machine, and then now we're gonna go into some dips. I always like doing that one first because I usually go a little bit heavier weight because I usually use more on that machine than what my body weight is. So that way I tax the muscles a little bit. Now we're diving into this one. so the machine that I wanted to use downstairs was being taken. So I decided we called an audible. We're gonna come to my favorite arm exercise in the whole gym, which is this rope machine right here. What I do is I do this for 10 minutes. I'll do 30 seconds with my bicep, stop, 30 seconds down with my tricep, and keep rotating. So you're basically doing 20 sets of 30 seconds each, and it's an awesome arm pump. So, about to do it, yeah. Yeah, there we go. I'm the star. I'm the star. Alright, so I'm keeping an eye on the timer until it gets to 30 seconds. And after 30 seconds, boom, switch it into a tricep. And we could go at this for 10 minutes. It's good cardio too, so you burn calories, and like I said, it's always been my favorite arm exercise. Save you guys some time, you guys get the gist. I'll be good to going at this for 10 minutes. So I'm about to show you guys the next exercise here I'm about to do for my arm day. All right, so for this one, it's gonna be a superset I'm gonna do with this plate. So I'm gonna do bicep curls, and then I'm gonna superset it into overhead tricep extensions. One. Just do weight and then just keep going so your arms can't go anymore. Last one. All right, awesome. I usually do 3 sets of those. All right, so we just started off 2 bicep exercises, 2 tricep exercises, and then 2 bicep tricep supersets. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get back into the isolation exercises, and this one we're gonna focus on our biceps. This is the one I wanted earlier, but these are always taken at my gym, so once I saw it, I had to pounce on it. This one I like to get a squeeze at the top, slow on the way down, squeeze, nice and slow. You get that nice rip in your biceps when you do it this way. Slow down, explode. One of the things I like about slow on the way down is that that's what's called a negative, and that way you're essentially doubling your workout, if you will, because your biceps are working to slowly move it down. You're still putting tension on these muscle fibers. So it's a little pro tip whenever you do your exercises. A lot of it is just the mind-muscle connection and just thinking about your muscle, thinking about the contraction, and that way it maximizes your workouts. So for you guys' sake, so the video isn't too long, I generally do really quick rests, like generally 30 to 45 seconds between each set. That's why it's a little bit of recovery, but it still keeps the tension on the muscles and it still keeps that pump going. So for this one, I'm actually putting my thumbs behind it. Like I said, sometimes when you put your thumb out, you feel it more in your forearm. Whenever you slide your thumbs behind it, it focuses on just hitting that bicep, and that's what we're going after today. Still doing slow on the way down, fast on the way up, and pausing for like half a second once I get to the top. Alright, so for this next set, I actually got the weight relatively low because for me, I do not care about the numbers because our brains compute numbers, but our muscles don't compute numbers, they compute tension. So you can make this with 60 pounds, but put these on here. You can make that 60 pounds so much heavier if you're focusing on different tension during your exercise. So I try to focus not too much on the numbers, but more about just getting in the right mindset of and making sure I get that good pump with the exercise. So for this one, we're just focusing on getting, like I said, nice contractions.
Thanks, man.
So this, you may not be able to tell, but it's still slightly misty, and I can still taste a little bit of my pre-workout in here. Oh, and my creatine as well. I put my powdered creatine in my drink as well. But I still taste a little bit of it, and this is what, my 5th exercise, and I'm still getting a little bit of that pre-workout in me as I'm working out. And this is the point where most people get tired, but because I'm sipping on my pre-workout, I still have the energy that I need to make sure I get a good workout. All right, so for this set, I'm gonna be doing a triple drop set. We're starting off, we're going 150 pounds. I know it says 140, but you gotta count these. We're gonna go 140, 105, and then 50. So we're just gonna crank this out. I'm not gonna focus as much on the contractions. It just more focus on mentally, just crank it out as many reps as possible. My arms died. Alrighty, so for this one, I am going to be doing dumbbell tricep extension. For this exercise, if you notice I grab 20s. I don't focus so much on going heavy for this one. Again, I'm going to use that C word, contraction. For this one, I'm just focusing on making sure I have good form and getting a nice squeeze out up top. So notice I keep my arms tight. So a lot of people bring them out here. I like pointing my elbows up, and it's almost like I'm slicing forward like that, getting a good squeeze. And that's how I feel most of my triceps. And then for that one, I usually do 4 sets of 20 for this one. And again, just focusing on those contractions, you'll feel a nice burn in your triceps. All right, so for this one, we did mostly hammer for our triceps. So for this one, I'm gonna do pronated grip. I'm gonna do overhead tricep extension going this way, and we're gonna be hitting our tris for this one. So that one I got 12 reps. Again, I try to go for the 8 to 12 rep range, so add a little bit of weight this time for my next set. Alright, so here's another pro tip for YouTube goers. Whenever 2 cables open up, I don't care what point of your exercise it is, you take, okay, you show up, you sprint like the road runner, and you take both sides, because you never know where you get the opportunity to get both of them. Always pounce on it. This one just opened up, and I'm about to switch up and do my bicep exercise here. And if you have a wife, she can stand and record it while you're getting ready.
Can't hold it much longer. You can't hold it much longer.
For Moses, they parted the Red Sea, and for Nick Gaglione, they parted both cables. All right, so because I know that this bothers my wife, I'm gonna switch out this one for this one right here. There we go. So no more squeaking. Right now my wife is gonna watch this back and she's saving her.
Thank you, Nat.
So this could be our last exercise of the workout. This one, I like to go light, to focus on the contractions, because for a lot of our tricep exercises, we did pronated, we did hammer, but we didn't do any supinated. So I would like to do my pull downs like this, and we're gonna focus on just single arm tricep push downs. Notice I'm trying to get a nice little squeeze at the bottom, usually do about 8 reps each arm. And while you're doing one arm, the other one's resting. Nice turn, baby. We just keep going until our arms fall off. Really putting you to work here, huh, Haley?
Yeah.
And that's a wrap.